Hello and welcome, Power Partners, to our informational playground. This is Starstyle-Be, the star you are. We're coming to you under the auspices of Be the Star You Are charity, and we are on the Voice America Network. This is the Empowerment Channel. I'm your host, Cynthia Brian, and as always, I am here to bring you some information and edutainment, hopefully. And I want to let you know that the best shortcut to the life of your dreams is knowing that you have already arrived. Because the only way to get what you really want is to know what you really want. So make that decision. The miracle moment for today, brought to you by Be the Star You Are. You can visit Be the Star You Are at bethestarur.org, is by Muhammad Ali. Service to others is the rent you pay for the room here on earth. Well, in our first segment today, we're going to talk about diminished capacity. Not sure if you even know what it is, but how do you protect yourself and your loved ones when you have a cognitive decline? Because it does happen to most people. So we have to learn to plan for the occurrences, which can be problematic. So we'll have some tips to discuss. And in segment two, maybe this is a little fun one. If you have children or grandkids, do you have a toddler that you are attempting to potty train? It can be kind of frustrating experience because the child starts to understand what's happening. But relax, we have to have patience, and there's going to be a few simple ways that we can encourage our kids to get to the potty. Well, the term diminished financial capacity, it would describe someone who is in decline, whose person's ability to manage money or financial assets to serve their own best interests. And that can include an inability to understand the consequences of any investment decisions. Now, of course, diminished capacity can relate to all kinds of diminished mental capacity. So, this cognitive decline can result from a serious accident or an illness or an injury, or it just might be a bit of dementia. And it's estimated to affect around 16% of adults that are over the age of 65. And planning for these possibilities requires some really difficult conversations, and becoming prepared can help you and your family minimize problems down the road. So, there's a list that has been compiled here by some experts that can assist you in creating a plan of action should you or a loved one ever need it. Now, one of the first things that's important to do is to organize your important documents. And this is something that I recommend for a person of any age because sadly, none of us have a crystal ball. We don't know what the future is going to hold. And even when we're young, whether we're in our 20s or our 30s, and we think, oh, well, nothing's going to happen to me, you never know when an accident could happen. It could happen on the ski slopes, it could happen in the water, it could happen in your backyard or even in your house. So, something important is to get your financial documents and all of your important documents in order, stored, and have a relative or trusted friend know where they are in a case of an emergency. Could they easily find everything you need to manage your affairs if something should happen to you? So you want to organize and store important documents either in a safe or a safe deposit box or a file or something that would be easily accessible, and let that trusted loved one or that trusted friend know where they could find him so that they could help you. So typically the following documents are the most important for you. Now, first of all, if you have bank or brokerage statements and any account information, you want to make a list of these items. And of course, always store them in a safe place. But you'll want to make a list of account and account numbers, online bank or bankerage passwords, and also those security pins because people will, especially if it's all online, people will need to have that in order to help you. And hopefully, you do not want your phone turned off, your cell phone, because usually text messages are sent. If you have a safe deposit box, you'll need to have that listed along with where the key is and what establishment it's in, and any recent bank or brokerage statements. And this is why it's helpful to keep a file of these. If you have rental information for your home or mortgage or credit information, again, you need a list of your debts, your regular payments, including account numbers, and the names of the financial institutions that have issued any loans or your credit cards. When it comes to insurance, a list of your policies, the policy numbers, and any contact information. If you have a pension plan or a retirement benefit, you want the summaries of those. And that would be the same like if you opened an IRA or if you have a 401k. Another thing is if you your social security number, and if you are older and you're getting social security payments, or if you're disabled and you're getting social security payments, you want that information as well. Other things that are important to have would be information about your medical professionals, your doctors, your lawyers, your accountants, and any of your securities professionals. Now, you want to provide a professionals, you want to provide, if you have a financial professional, you want them to have trusted contacts as well. So, if you have a financial account, and that can be a savings account, a checking account, or an investment account, it's really a good idea to add a trusted contact person to that account. Now, that is someone that you would pre-authorize to be in your finances so that if you were, in the hospital or unable to function, that this person could stand in for you. Now, if your broker is unable to reach you or believes that you're being financially exploited, this person could have access to your account and your money. So you want to make sure that the person that you put in charge of that is very trustworthy. And otherwise, that wouldn't be a good thing. So most brokerage firms and some banks will allow you to designate this trusted contact person. And so find out more from your financial institutions if they have that specific thing. Now, if you are obtaining Social Security, there is something called an advanced designation where you can choose up to 3 people to serve as your representative payee should you need help in the future. A representative payee is someone appointed by the Social Security Administration to manage your Social Security benefits. And if needed, this designation will not take effect unless you become unable to manage your benefits on your own. And if your situation changes, the administration will evaluate your advanced designation to ensure that the person you choose is suitable to serve as your representative. You want to make sure that, I think all places want to make sure that you're not being scammed or that you are not being taken advantage of in any way. So you want to be very clear. Another thing is to have a durable financial power of attorney. And a financial power of attorney is a document that gives someone the legal authority to make decisions for you if you are unable to do so. And that durable, in quotes, designation means that it remains in effect even if you become incapacitated, though you can change or cancel it at any time when you are in full mental capacity so that you can make the decisions. But think about these things carefully and also know that if you don't have a friend or a family member that you feel you can trust, Usually there is someone in the legal field, or it could be if you have a financial institution that that you can put someone in that corporate area that would be your designated security person. So find out the details, look into this more, but just know that all of us could become incapacitated at any age, at any time. And so it would be good to have someone who would be have your best interests at heart and who would be able to take care of you and your medical bills if you needed that. You're listening to Cynthia Brian. This is Star Style, Be the Star You Are. We'll have a business bite when we come back from break, and then we're going to a little talk about children and potty training. I know it's a little bit different topic, but I think it's an important one. Stay with me. I'll be right back. Do you know how to write a rejection letter for employment? Rejection letters for applicants who applied will not be moving forward. It's a hard message to get a rejection letter. So if you're going to write a letter, it need not be long or overly explanatory. You just want to let the person know that you are moving forward with other candidates and encourage the person that you're rejecting to keep up with future open roles. So here's an example. You could say, "Hi, whatever the applicant's name is. Thanks for your interest in X position at whatever organization or company. Upon careful review of your application materials, we've decided to move forward with another candidate whom we feel have the specific skills and experience we're looking for. But we do hope you'll keep us in mind if you're looking for new opportunities in the future." And then here you could link to your career page or an organizational page, or even something that you think the position that would fit the applicant better. And then just make it short and simple, like "Thanks again. We wish you all the best," and put your name, your team name, the company name. You may also want to mention how many other applicants applied if it's a really big number. Sometimes that total can allow seekers to understand the competition for a role. And additionally, you could offer your social channels as another way for the applicant to keep up with your organization or your company's work and opportunities. Just remember, you're the star of your own performance. Turn your passions into profits. I'm Cynthia Brian with another business bite from Star Style. For more information, visit cynthiabrian.com. That's Brian with an I.com. Well, we're back. You're listening to Star Style, Be the Star You Are, and I am your host, Cynthia Brian. And in this segment, we're going to talk about potty training and how you can set your child up for success. I have two little granddaughters, three, who in the last year, from the time they were about two, I guess, were potty training. And it's such an interesting time, and it also, brings me back to the time when I was potty training my own children. And as a parent, you think, "Oh my gosh, it's never going to happen. How many diapers am I going to be in forever and ever?" But the reality is, unless there's an illness, everyone eventually potty trains. And so we definitely have to have patience with it. But there are some things that you can do. And this is, with everything about parenting, there really isn't a manual that comes that you can really read about that says this is the right way to do it, because there really is no right age. There really is no right way. But there are some things that you, as a parent or a grandparent or a guardian, can do, maybe some little tricks that can help your toddler take another step towards independence. And then you won't be having all those diapers anymore. So, what are a couple of these? The first thing that you really want to think about if you're trying to potty train your child is to let your child be in the lead. Let your child decide this is what wants to happen. You have to look for developmental readiness because they're usually not ready until around age 2. Now, sometimes girls can be a little bit quicker. Boys sometimes can be a little bit, takes a little bit longer. But again, it really depends on the child. If it's a first child, it might take a little longer. A second child tends to watch the older sibling and wants to be more like the older sibling. So they may potty train a little bit faster. But in the meantime, you don't want to be a pushy parent. Um, the suggestion is for families to start potty training during a weekend when there's not too many activities because you could have some diaper free time. I know what we did is when it was summertime, because that was about the age, and it was warm outside, we could just have some diaper free time. In other words, just let the kids run around outside without a diaper. And that way they can learn to know what it feels like when they have to go to the bathroom. Now, obviously, if you're doing this indoors, it could be a little bit messy. But I know with like my kids, they would, say, nature pee. And that just meant that they had to go. And it would be like, great. At least they had that urge that they had to go to the bathroom and they could do it outside behind a tree. Now, that may not be your cup of tea. It may not be what you want to do, but the point is just to let the kids kind of learn to feel it. You also want to make it fun because we don't do things if they're not fun. So there are books out there that are, we call them potty books, that kind of talk about the different movements that our body makes and you have to go to the bathroom. So you could read some that are age appropriate. You could make a dance party, or you could bring in a stuffed animal or a doll and put the doll on the toilet or the stuffed animal on the toilet and, get excited about it. Like, this is so fun. So, because the more excited you are about it, the better they will be. And of course, you have to celebrate. You have to applaud and clap. And, as crazy as it sounds, if you're a parent, you've been there. We recommend that parents are really effusive with the praise when a child does something that is a potty training related task. And right now, they have these really cute um, little, I guess you call them baby potties that, that it has a step on it and you can put the potty up on the toilet so the kid's not going to fall in. And the kids kind of get excited in doing it themselves. So they put it up there and they might want to tell you that, oh, now I have to go. And one thing that my one of my granddaughters did, and it was really cute, she got this little watch and it rang a song and you could time it. The parent could set the watch to 30-minute segments or an hour, whatever you thought was appropriate. But I used to laugh so much when they were potty training her because every 30 minutes, this little song would come on her little watch. And she would immediately say she had to run to the bathroom. Most of the time, she didn't have to go, but because she had this watch, she thought she had to go. And it made it fun. And she was kind of looking forward to it. And then when she finally would go to the toilet, everyone would clap and everyone would get excited. She'd get a big smile on her face that she was sitting on the potty. And then she would flush it and she would wash her hands. And sometimes we give her a reward. It could be a sticker on her hand or a stamp. You give an M&M, you want to give some kind of reward. But I just thought that the watch was a really fun thing to do. So as parents, we have to remember to be patient, that it is a process. And we have to just take it 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time, and just know that every child is going to get there. And the one thing we don't want to do with our kids is we never want to scold them when they don't make it. There are going to be accidents because that's just part of potty training. But you have to say something like, "That's okay, no big deal. We'll try again. When good job, you almost made it this time." And always stay positive when you're doing the potty training. Encourage the kids to keep at it despite all the challenges and the setbacks. Because the second that a child picks up that our expectations aren't being met, or that we're disappointed, or that we're angry, they're not going to want to continue. So, again, we have to make it fun. We have to have patience. We have to let the kid be the lead and just celebrate every time that they actually, let you know that what they did in their diaper, or if they didn't do it in their diaper, if they were able to make it to the potty. But when they start realizing, it's like all of a sudden the body kicks in and it hits with the mind, and they just know what they're supposed to do. So hang in there, parents, grandparents, and guardians. Everyone is going to eventually potty train. It's a process, and it can be a fun process, although maybe a little bit messy. But it's part of life, and it's kind of one of the things you look back on and you laugh about it when they get older, too. So that is our show for today. We're thankful that you are here with me. Make sure that you are tuned in to Star Style, Be the Star You Are, every week with me, Cynthia Brian. And then don't forget to tune in to Express Yourself Teen Radio, airs on Sundays on the same network, on the Voice American Network, because there's always information. You can change your life. You can make your dreams come true. And of course, everybody's dream is to be potty trained, right? For more information about Star Style Productions, or to purchase any of my books, you want to visit cynthiabrian.com. And I want to say I am working on my 12th book, which is the fourth book in the Stella Bella's Barnyard Adventure series. It will be coming out this fall. It's called Flap Forward, Fly Free, and it is really about encouraging kids to ask for help when they need it, to have courage, to face their fears, to communicate and collaborate, and most of all, to find love wherever they can find it. So it's packed with a lot of messages, and I think you're going to love the illustrations, and it'll be available soon for pre-orders at cynthiabrian.com. We don't have anything up on the website yet, but check back often under Cynthia Brian /books, and you'll be able to see when that's happening. Also, if you want to get involved with Be the Star You Are charity, you can visit bethestaryouare.org. It's a good time to check out all the book reviews that are there. There's a wonderful blog that you can pay attention to, and it changes a few times a week, as well as we're doing disaster relief, and there's a lot of volunteer opportunities. So that is available at bethestaryouare.org. Well, my aim is always to encourage, inspire, inform, amuse, and motivate. I want you to see beyond your physical being. Know you are already the star you dreamed of becoming. Cherish the past, dream of the future, and celebrate every moment of your life. Read a good book this week. You will get carried away. It's always such a joy to be reading. And until next week, when we celebrate again on the Star Style Playground, remember that love always wins, kindness always prevails, and smiles keep us happy. In the meantime, be kind, be inclusive, tell the truth, live with integrity, embrace cultures, love unconditionally, encourage others, be generous, read, lead, succeed, communicate, collaborate, innovate, and be your unapologetically authentic self, because everyone counts. I encourage you to go out into the world and be the star you are. Thanks for joining me. We'll be together again next week. And in the meantime, just make it a great one. Ciao for now.